okay, I need you to grab your coffee.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the little espresso shot you take before a sprint meeting.
Oh, no.
I mean the big mug. I need to sit down, stare out the window, and process the passage of time mug.
I've got mine right here. It's a double. And honestly, looking at this stack of notes you've dumped on the desk, I think I might need a refill halfway through.
You might.
This isn't just a news stack. This is like a history book.
It is absolute chaos on the desk today. Usually, we try to keep things thematic.
We try.
We say, okay, today's about the 90s, or today's about the future of streaming. But today, we are looking at a timeline that is, frankly, mind-boggling.
It's all over the place.
We have news hitting the wire today, February 9th, 2026, but the threads we are pulling on, they stretch all the way back to 1970 and reach forward to 2027.
It's a time machine kind of day. I mean, it's so rare that you get a single news cycle where the absolute legends Amitabh Bachchan, Rajesh Khanna, Vinod Khanna are suddenly colliding with the realities of the current crop.
Right, like Siddhant, Chaturvedi, and Ranveer Singh.
Exactly. It feels like the industry is having a conversation with its own ghost.
That's the perfect way to put it. And what I want to do today is not just read the headlines. I don't want to just say, here is a movie release date, mark your calendars.
No.
I want to understand why the industry is shifting the way it is, regarding money, fame, and even parenting. Because some of these stories, they feel really personal.
Which is my favorite kind of deep dive. The headlines are just the surface. The real story is always in the cultural shift underneath. Like, why are we suddenly talking about a 1973 thriller in the same breath as a 2027 comedy? What actually connects those two things?
So our mission today is simple, but ambitious. We're going to sift through the box office numbers of Mardaani 3, the absolute legal mess of Don 3, which we have to get into.
We have to.
And some viral nostalgia to find the heartbeat of Bollywood. What has changed and what has stayed exactly, almost painfully the same?
Let's start with the here and now, the hard numbers, because, opinions are subjective, but box office numbers usually cut through the noise.
They do. And right now, the number that stands out on my sheet is 35 crore. That is where Rani Mukherjee's Mardaani 3 is sitting after its second weekend.
Okay.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate here. In an era where we hear about 500 crore clubs and 1,000 crore global grosses, is 35 crore in 2 weeks actually good?
That is the right question to ask, because context is everything. If this were a Shah Rukh Khan VFX extravaganza, 35 crore would be a disaster.
An absolute catastrophe.
But you have to look at the return on investment, the ROI. This isn't a 300 crore budget beast like Tiger 3 or Pathaan.
Right. It's not blowing up bridges in Europe. It's largely shot in real locations. It's focused on script and performance.
Exactly. So the cost of production is managed. Hitting 35 crore implies that the film is not only recovering its costs, but it's already deep into profit territory.
Okay.
But more importantly, it signals consistency. And consistency is a currency that is so rare in Bollywood right now.
That's the word I wanted to drill into. Consistency. We talk so much about the star power of the Khans or the new generation, but Rani Mukherjee playing Shivani Shivaji Roy.
She just delivers.
She just delivers every single time.
It's the reliability factor. Think about it from a consumer perspective. You're the audience. You have limited money and limited time. You've been burned by massive blockbusters that promised the moon and delivered like a headache.
That's so true.
Mardaani has built a specific trust. You go in, you know you're getting a gritty, no-nonsense cop drama. It's not trying to be a VFX spectacle. It's trying to be a solid thriller.
It's like a favorite local restaurant.
Yeah.
It might not be a Michelin star experience every night, but you know the food is always going to be hot and it's always going to taste good.
Precisely. And that brand loyalty is why it hit 35 crore. It didn't just open big and then crash, which is what bad movies do.
Right.
People are telling their friends to go see it. That implies legs, as we say in the business. It proves that the cop universe isn't just about Rohit Shetty blowing up Scorpios.
Right. There's an appetite for the grounded procedural style that Rani brings.
A huge appetite.
Okay, speaking of blowing up Scorpios and the future of blockbusters, let's look at the calendar. Because the rumor mill for 2026 and 2027 is working overtime today.
Oh, it's intense. We have some clarity finally on Lahore 1947.
Lahore 1947. Wow.
Yeah.
Even the title sounds heavy. This is the Aamir Khan production, right?
Yes. Aamir producing, Rajkumar Santoshi directing, and starring Sunny Deol and Preeti Zinta.
Stop right there. Sunny Deol and Preeti Zinta. That combination is straight out of my early 2000s playlist. I'm getting the hero. Love story of a spy flashbacks right now.
It really is a nostalgia bomb. It's designed that way. And the release date is confirmed for Independence Day 2026.
Of course it is.
I mean, strategically, that is perfect. You take the patriotic fervor that Sunny Deol commands, especially post-Gaydar 2,
Which was huge.
and you pair it with a title like Lahore 1947, it's almost scientifically engineered to open huge.
But here's my skepticism. Can nostalgia carry a film alone? We've seen these nostalgia plays fail before when the script is just garbage.
And that's where the Aamir Khan factor comes in. As a producer, Aamir is historically, almost famously, meticulous. He's not going to let this just be a shouting match. He brings a level of quality control, a script hygiene, if you will, that makes this project dangerous for the competition. He knows that the audience will come for Sunny, but they'll only stay for the story.
That's a good point. Okay, speaking of competition and rumors, let's talk about the Golmaal chatter. Because I saw some wild theories on Twitter this morning, and I need you to separate fact from fiction for me.
The internet remains undefeated in just making things up. Rohit Shetty had to actually issue an official statement today regarding Golmaal 5.
Why? Because fans were convinced it was a remake of Do or Do Panch.
Right. Which, I mean, it makes sense on paper, right? Do or Do Panch literally translates to 2 and 2 make 5.
Right, Golmaal 5. The math works.
The math works. But Shetty shut it down. He said, no link. New story. Stop guessing. He was very blunt about it.
But he did confirm the timeline.
Yes. Filming starts early 2026, so basically like now, and release is set for 2027. But the spicy rumor that he hasn't denied yet,
Let's hear it.
Akshay Kumar as the antagonist.
See, that's interesting. Akshay Kumar, who is usually the hero saving the day, playing the bad guy in a comedy.
If that happens, it's a coup. Akshay has amazing comic timing, we all know that. But returning to a pure comedy villain role, we haven't seen that specific energy in a long, long time.
True.
It also highlights the cinematic universe syndrome we're seeing everywhere.
What do you mean by that?
Fans just want everything to be connected. They want Golmaal to link to old Amitabh movies. They want the spy universe to link to, the cop universe. It's the Marvelization of Bollywood audiences.
Yeah.
They're looking for Easter eggs even when the director's just trying to make a slapstick comedy.
It creates so much noise. And look at the Ramayana casting. Vijay Sethupathi had to come out and explicitly dismiss rumors that he's playing Vibhishan.
That one was everywhere. Vijay Sethupathi joins the cast, and he's essentially sitting at home saying, guys, nobody called me, I'm just eating lunch.
It must be exhausting for the actors. You wake up, check your phone, and find out you're apparently starring in a 500 crore movie you know nothing about.
It just distracts from the work, but sometimes the business side of things gets very real, very fast. It stops being rumors and it starts being lawsuits.
And that brings us to the Dawn 3 situation.
Oh, boy.
This is the story that has everyone talking in the industry WhatsApp groups today. So let's unpack this. The headline is that Ranveer Singh has supposedly exited Dawn 3.
Which is a shock in itself, considering the splashy announcement video they did. Remember that. The whole era of Dawn Begins teaser. He had the leather jacket, the smoke.
Hard to forget. But the kicker isn't just that he left, it's the money. Reports are saying Farhad Akhtar and Excel Entertainment are demanding 40 crore rupees in compensation.
Okay, this is where we have to put our business hats on. Because to the average listener, 40 crore sounds like an arbitrary, massive fine. Like, I'm mad at you, give me 40 crore.
Right. It sounds like an emotional tax. You hurt my feelings, pay me.
But it's not. In film production, especially at this scale, that number likely represents something very specific. We call it pre-production burn and opportunity costs.
Okay, break that down for us.
Yeah.
What have they actually spent money on if they haven't started filming? How do you spend 40 crore without turning a single camera on?
Oh, easily. By the time a film like Dawn 3 is ready to shoot, millions have already been spent. You have set designs drawn up and maybe even built.
Right.
You have pre-visualization, which is basically animating the entire movie before you shoot it to plan the stunts. That costs a fortune. You have advance payments to technicians, cinematographers, action directors from Hollywood. You've booked studios.
And you've blocked dates.
That's the big one. If you block the dates of a top-tier crew, the best costume designers, the best lighting guys, for 6 months, and then the lead actor walks out due to creative differences at the 11th hour.
You can't just get those dates back.
You can't. You have to pay those people their holding fees. That money is just torched. It's a sunk cost.
So Excel is asking for 40 crore, essentially, to cover the whole Ranveer left in the balance sheet.
Likely, yes. And contracts for franchises are brutal. There's usually a pay or play clause or specific exit penalties. If Excel is asking for 40 crore, they are claiming that is the actual financial damage caused by this delay.
Wow. It really highlights that filmmaking is, at the end of the day, a high-stakes corporate maneuver. We see the glamour, the Instagram posts, the teasers,
Yeah.
but behind the scenes, it's breach of contract, damages, and legal notices.
It also puts a massive question mark on the project. Don is a legacy role. First Amitabh, then SRK. Ranveer was already a bold, kind of controversial choice. If he's out, who steps in? Or does the project just stall?
It's a mess. But, while the heroes are fighting over contracts and suing each other, the villains seem to be having the time of their lives.
They really are. We are officially in the era of the villain.
I think so. We have news that Fahad Fasil, who is just a force of nature, is confirmed as the villain in Patriot.
This is huge. Patriot is a film with Mohanlal and Mammootty. That is Malayalam royalty.
That's the Mount Rushmore of Malayalam cinema.
It is. And to bring in Fahad as the antagonist, it elevates the whole project from a regional hit to a national event. People will watch this across India just for him.
It's almost unfair. That's too much talent in one frame.
And he's also updating on Avisham too. But looking at the Hindi market, Akshay Khanna is back in a big way with Durandar on Netflix.
I love this for Akshay Khanna. The description says he's playing both a lover and a gangster.
Which is the most Akshay Khanna thing ever. He has that unique ability to be charming and absolutely terrifying, and the exact same smile.
The smirk.
Uh,
I remember from Humras, from Race.
Oh, absolutely. But look at the pattern here. Fahad Fazil, Akshay Khanna, even the rumors of Akshay Kumar and Golmaal. The villain role has become the most coveted spot for versatile actors.
Why do you think that is? Is it just more fun?
It's where you get to chew the scenery. As a hero, you have the moral burden. You have to be good, you have to save the girl, you have to follow the rules. As the villain, you just get to be interesting. It's the Joker effect. Everyone wants to be the agent of chaos because chaos is fun to watch and, I imagine, fun to play.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Before we move off the business section, did you see this anecdote about Imran Khan?
Yes, this was a perfect palate cleanser after all that legal talk. So Imran Khan is talking about the promotions for Once Upon a Time in Mumbai Dobara.
Which is a massive glossy promotion cycle. I remember they were everywhere for that film.
Apparently the producers offered the stars gold iPhones, actual gold iPhones.
Wait, like solid gold? Or just gold-plated?
Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a gold phone.
True, true.
And Imran Khan turned it down. He said, I just want to go sleep. I want rest.
A man after my own heart. I get that.
But the internet, being the detectives they are, instantly started speculating. If Imran turned it down, who took it? And the finger is pointing squarely at the richer co-star Akshay Kumar.
It fits the brand. It just fits. But it also highlights the absurdity of that era of Bollywood marketing. We don't really see that as much anymore.
No, budgets are way tighter now. But back then, gold iPhones, helicopters, massive events, it was excessive. And Imran Khan choosing a nap over gold is just, it's very relatable content for 2026.
He was prioritizing mental health and sleep before it was cool.
Truly a pioneer, a visionary.
Okay, let's switch gears. We've talked about the money, the contracts, the villains. Now, I want to step into our time machine. We are going back to 1973. It's time for our flashback feature.
And today we are looking at Anamika,
starring Sanjeev Kumar and Jaya Bhaduri. Now, for our younger listeners who might only know Jaya Bachchan as the stern matriarch in Rocky or Rani, or from paparazzi videos where she's scolding photographers.
This is a crucial re-education. You have to understand, Anamika captures Jaya Bhaduri at her absolute peak of innocence and mystery.
The plot is classic noir romance. Sanjeev Kumar plays Devendra, a writer who is done with love. He's cynical.
He's a brooder.
A total brooder. And then in a storm, because it's Bollywood, there has to be a storm, he finds an unconscious woman on the road.
And she has amnesia. She doesn't know who she is. So he names her Anamika, the one without a name.
It sounds like a soap opera trope now, but in 1973, with this cast, the way it was shot, it was electric. But what really keeps this movie alive today, I think, isn't just the amnesia plot.
Oh, no. It is the music.
It's 100% the music.
Mary.
PG-BGC.
Chills. Just saying the title gives me chills.
Right.
Kishore Kumar's voice, R.D. Burman's composition. It's not just a sad song. It's an anthem of heartbreak. Yeah. And you have to notice the guitar work. It's so simple, acoustic, almost haunting. It opens with that strumming pattern that every college kid in India still tries to learn.
And the lyrics. Palkon pe gay. It means left on the eyelashes. It describes that feeling of tears that won't quite fall.
It transcends the film.
Completely. You can play that song today, anywhere, at a party, in a cab, in a dorm room, and people will stop what they're doing and just listen.
It's interesting to note the versatility of Sanjeev Kumar here, too. This is
Yeah.
pre-Sholay. He wasn't Thakur yet. He wasn't the old man. He was a romantic lead, but a complex one.
Sanjeev Kumar was arguably the best actor of his generation because he didn't have an image trap. Rajesh Khanna had the superstar image. Amitabh had the angry young man. Sanjeev Kumar just had acting.
Exactly. He could play the old man, the lover, the comedic relief, anything. In Anamika, he plays that tension perfectly. And the film had legs. It was remade in Tamil as Ninathal Inakum and in Telugu as Aratana.
That's the mark of a great story. It travels across languages.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Anamika, don't just watch it for the romance, watch it for the suspense. It's really a thriller disguised as a love story.
And watch it to remind yourself why Jaya Paduri was a superstar in her own right before she became Mrs. Bachchan. The subtlety she brings to the role of the woman with no memory. It's just a masterclass.
Speaking of shifting perspectives on the past, this brings us to a really fascinating, slightly spicy segment. We're calling this nostalgia versus reality.
This is where things get really interesting. Because movies don't change, but we change. And when we look back at old hits, sometimes we see something completely different.
Case in point,
Bhagwan.
the ultimate guilt trip movie.
Oh my God, yes. Every Indian kid has been forced to watch Bhagwan by their parents. It's a standard operating procedure. Look at how they treat Amitabh. Don't be like them. Serve your parents.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
But there is a viral reel circulating right now by the actor Samir Soni, and it has sparked a massive debate online. He is arguing, and Gen Z is backing him up loudly, that the sons in Bhagwan weren't actually the villains. Wait, hold on. Let's unpack this. The sons are the bad guys. That's the entire point of the script. They separate their parents. They treat them like burdens. How can you possibly defend that?
Well, let's look at it through the economic lens of 2026. The argument Samir Soni is making is that the character Sanjay the son had valid financial concerns. The parents, Amitabh and Hema Malini, expected their children to completely upend their lives and finances to support them.
And the criticism is about retirement planning in Bhagwan.
Yes. The argument is, why didn't you plan for your retirement? Why did you spend everything on the kids and then expect them to be your ATM in old age? It's a clash of economic realities.
Oh, wow. So Gen Z looks at the parent sacrifice as financial irresponsibility.
Exactly. In 2003, the narrative was duty above all else. In 2026, the narrative is boundaries and financial independence.
Right.
So Gen Z looks at Amitabh's character, who acts very entitled to his children's homes and money, and says, "You're being unreasonable. You're the problem here."
That is wild. It completely flips the script. It turns Big B into the real villain for having unreasonable expectations and refusing to adapt to his children's modern lives.
It just shows how the definition of good parenting and good children has shifted so dramatically.
That is a deep cultural shift. And speaking of shifting power dynamics, we have another story from the past that sheds light on the fragility of stardom.
This is a story from Master Raju, who was a ubiquitous child actor back then. He revealed a massive altercation between Jaya Bachchan and Rajesh Khanna.
The two titans of that era.
Right. And the context is crucial here. Rajesh Khanna was the superstar, the phenomenon. He had, 15 hits in a row? He was a god.
Untouchable.
But then this tall, lanky guy named Amitabh Bachchan shows up with Sanjir, the angry young man.
The disruptor.
And Rajesh Khanna felt the ground shifting beneath his feet. He knew his time was ending.
So according to Master Raju, Khanna insulted Amitabh on set, probably out of insecurity. Just a snide remark about his height or his luck or something.
And Jaya, what does she do? Jaya was already a massive star. And she was Amitabh's partner. She fought back. She defended him right to Rajesh Khanna's face, in front of everyone.
Wow. It's so human, isn't it? We think of them as these larger-than-life gods. But here is Rajesh Khanna, the biggest star in the country, absolutely terrified of being replaced.
And he was replaced. That's the tragedy and the reality of Bollywood. The villain wasn't Amitabh. The villain was time. And Jaya seeing the potential in Amitabh before the rest of the world fully caught on, it just adds another layer to their partnership.
It really does. It wasn't just romance. It was a partnership against the establishment.
But that pressure, that fear of being replaced, it takes a toll. And unfortunately, that brings us to the darker side of the industry.
Yeah. We need to take a moment here, because the headlines today also brought up some really heartbreaking stories about the human cost of all this fame. We often see the glossy magazine covers, but we don't see what happens when the lights go out.
We have Master Raju again, recalling memories of Divya Parthi.
Divya Parthi. God, she was a meteor. Just 19 years old when she died.
Yeah.
Superstar.
And Raju recalls that at the absolute peak of her fame, she was unhappy and sad. He said she felt used.
That is such a heavy word. Used.
Think about it. She was 19. She was working multiple shifts, churning out hits, carrying the weight of films worth millions of rupees on her shoulders. Producers were lining up. But who was asking her how she felt? Who was checking in on the teenager behind the star?
And in the 90s, there was no mental health support. There were no intimacy coordinators, no welfare officers on set. You were a commodity.
You were a money printing machine.
If you were a hit, they worked you until you broke. Hearing that she felt unhappy while the whole world was in love with her, it's just a stark reminder that success doesn't equal happiness. In fact, sometimes it actively prevents it.
And it's not just the 90s. We have Arun Irani speaking out about Mehmood.
This is a very difficult read. Arun Irani, a legend in her own right, said that Mehmood made and ruined her career.
She used the phrase openly exploited.
Yeah. She talks about a promise of marriage that was never honored and how that personal relationship dictated her entire professional trajectory.
It was a time when powerful men held all the keys, and the lines between personal and professional were completely dangerously blurred.
It's so brave of her to speak about it now. It rewrites the history of that whole comedy era. We laugh at the scenes, but behind them, there was this exploitation going on. It changes how you view the classics.
It really does. And then we have the revelation about Vinod Khanna.
This came from his wife, Kavita Khanna. We all knew he passed away from bladder cancer. But she revealed he had been diagnosed with lung cancer way, way back in 2001.
And the detail that stands out, the one that is just shocking, is the smoking. She mentioned he used to smoke 40 to 80 cigarettes a day.
80? That is, I can't even compute that. That's 4 packs a day. That is chain smoking on a level that feels truly self-destructive.
It was a different time. Smoking was part of the macho image, the stress relief, the lifestyle. But 80 a day. It shows the intense addiction and the stress these actors were under. They didn't have therapists. They had cigarettes.
It's not about judgment at all. It's just looking at the price they paid for that life.
Exactly. He turned to spirituality and holistic treatment later, which she says helped him survive the lung cancer for years. But it's a somber reminder that the rock star lifestyle of the 70s, the drinking, the smoking, the constant work, had severe physical consequences. The body keeps the score.
It does. And it makes you appreciate the shift we see in the younger generation today. They seem, I don't know, more aware, more protective of their peace.
Let's look at the craft and creators segment, because I think you're right. There is a real shift from star to artist.
Take A.R. Rahman. He's obviously a legend, a god, but he shared this moment about composing Venalav for Minsar Kanavu.
A masterpiece of a song, one of his absolute best.
He said he reached an emotional breaking point and actually started crying while composing it.
We often think of Rahman as the Zen digital wizard in his studio, just creating magic. But this reminds us that his music connects because he feels it so deeply.
It's emotional labor.
It is. You don't make a song like Venalav by just pressing buttons on a keyboard. You have to bleed a little. You have to access that sadness or that joy inside yourself.
And then we have Siddhant Chaturvedi. He gave a really thoughtful interview about a promise that changed his life.
He talked about being at a crossroads before Dewan Say Her Mine. It wasn't just about getting a role. It was about deciding who he wanted to be as an artist.
And you pair that with Adarsh Gourav's quote. He said, flat out, I never became an actor to be a movie star.
That is the defining statement of this new generation. Think about the Rajesh Khanna story we just told. He was terrified of losing his stardom.
Right.
Adarsh Gourav doesn't care about the stardom. He cares about the acting.
It's a healthier approach, for sure. It means your self-worth isn't tied to the box office opening on a Friday.
It is. Whether it's sustainable in the box office game is another question, but artistically, it's incredibly promising. It means we might get better performances because they aren't purely playing to the gallery.
And we have Shilpa Rao, fresh off her national award win for Tozanina.
I loved her interview so much. She didn't talk about glitz or glamour. She talked about dealing with rejection and her simple love for reading and food when she goes back to her hometown, Jamshedpur.
It grounds them. They are people first, artists second, and stars third.
Which is a much better hierarchy for your mental health than what Divya Bharti or Vinod Khanna had to navigate.
Absolutely. Speaking of grounding and real life, let's look at the social and personal feeds. Because even stars have family drama, and how they handle it says a lot.
Saif Ali Khan is addressing the faith question again. This has been a topic of gossip and speculation for decades.
The issue of his children, Sarah and Ibrahim, and their Islamic roots, versus his divorce from Amrita Singh.
Saif handled it with a lot of maturity. He emphasized that he never forced Amrita to convert when they married back in 1991. And regarding the kids, he said he trusts Amrita to uphold a balanced upbringing.
It's a very public statement on a very private matter. But in today's polarized climate, it feels important that he's setting the record straight. He's saying, we are a modern, complex family, and we handle it with respect.
It shuts down the trolls who try to project their own politics onto his family. It's basically him saying, mind your own business, we are fine.
And on a much lighter note, Sonam Kapoor's baby shower.
The visuals. A customized lehenga.
Of course it was customized. It's Sonam. If she wore off the rack, the universe would implode.
And the guest list was a who's who: Kareena, Bhumi Pednekar, Arjun Kapoor. It's nice to see that celebratory side of Bollywood. It's essentially a Fashion Week runway, but with baby gifts.
Totally. And then we have Shahid Kapoor, who is apparently still a 16-year-old fanboy at heart.
I love this anecdote. He talked about watching SRK, Kajol, and Rani shoot Kuch Hota Hai when he was just a teenager.
Can you imagine being 16, standing on the sidelines, watching that magic happen, and then growing up to be a superstar yourself?
It keeps the wonder alive, and he's still keeping it light. There was a video of him pranking his team recently. It's good to see that he hasn't become the serious, brooding artist completely. He can still have fun.
Okay, we're heading into the final stretch. It's time for quick hits and weird news. The stuff you might have missed scrolling past.
First up, Arijit Singh. Is he retiring? Is he not? What is happening?
He announced he was retiring, or at least hinted at it very strongly, and then days later, he pops up at Anushka Shankar's concert in Kolkata.
A surprise performance. It feels like he's evolving, not retiring. Maybe he's done with the Bollywood playback machine grind, singing 50 songs a year.
Right.
But he's clearly not done with music. Collaborating with Anushka Shankar suggests he wants to do more artistic fusion work.
I hope so. We can't lose Arijit yet. Okay, next up, Nagin 7.
The juggernaut.
The big news is, Aryaman has uncovered Ahana's truth.
And her truth is?
She is a Nagin. I feel like She is a Nagin is the plot twist of every season, but millions and millions of people are glued to it.
It's the comfort food of Indian TV. Ekta Kapoor knows exactly what the audience wants. High drama, shape-shifting snakes, and dangerous love. It's completely critic-proof.
Totally. And Sunil Grover is back with a song.
On the Great Indian Kapil Show on Netflix, it's being described as absolutely hilarious. Sunil Grover has that unique ability to be completely absurd and musical at the same time.
I love that. And finally, a massive project update from the South, the Ilayaraja biopic.
Pre-production is complete, and it's starring Dhanush.
Dhanush playing Ilayaraja. That is casting gold.
It really is. Dhanush has the physicality, the intensity, and Ilayaraja's life is a symphony of struggle and genius. If they get this right, it's going to be a global film.
Definitely one to watch.
Yeah.
So, if we look back at this hour, what a journey.
Seriously. We started with Rani Mukherjee kicking butt in 2026. We went all the way back to Sanjeev Kumar in 1973.
We saw the pain of Divya Bharti and Aruna Irani and the mature parenting of Saif Ali Khan.
It really feels like a circle, doesn't it? The industry changes, the technology changes, the contracts get bigger, the iPhones get gold plating. But the emotions, the insecurity Rajesh Khanna felt is probably the same insecurity a young actor feels today looking at their Instagram likes.
And the joy of a hit song, whether it's Mary Puya, Biggie C, or an RG track, remains the universal language. That's why we keep watching.
Always.
From headlines to heartbeats, you've been listening to Bollywood Deep Dive by IndiaRevue.com. Catch you where the stories are.